Hello, all you miracles and warriors in healing out there, all you survivors of trafficking, extreme child abuse, ritual abuse, mind control, all of the insanely horrible things that unfortunately some human beings are capable of committing against others. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today is another insanely horrible thing that humans are able to perpetrate against each other, and that is censorship. So this is a short post I'm going to do in response to them taking off the Imagination channel of Katherine on YouTube. Many of you, many of my subscribers only found me because I had done several, many testimony videos and several roundtables with other survivors like Nathan Reynolds and Gray on Emma's channel, the Imagination Podcast. Her podcast really is the definitive, source for survivor testimony. It's the only one like it that I've ever known where she just focuses on giving survivors a voice and essentially just allows them to have the time and space they need to talk about the horrible experiences they went through as children. What is so heartbreaking is the fact that things like this, something that's finally giving a voice to the voiceless, can essentially be censored and terminated on platforms like YouTube. She had, I think, over 30,000 subscribers when her channel was terminated. I think she has it back up now, so if you have not resubscribed, please subscribe. My first testimony that I did on there had I think 80 to 100,000 views on it, and over 600 plus comments from viewers that were finding my testimony enlightening, something that made them feel less alone. Just it really was, for me, and this is where I'm gonna get choked up, for me it really was what I had not expected, when I started sharing my testimony. I had expected it to be everything my abusers told me it would be when I shared my story, is that I would be discounted and ridiculed, and people would call me crazy because of the things I had gone through as a child. Instead, I got a real hope in humanity, essentially, and a real sense of compassion for myself and other survivors that had gone through these horrifying experiences of human trafficking. I went on to share on her channel because I felt like other survivors that had shared on her channel made me feel less alone in my healing, and I had hoped to pay it forward to other survivors. But what I also found was that so many people that were not survivors, were allies, were there to just share their love and their compassion when it came to what I went through. And it was the complete opposite of what psychopathic abusers like my father, like Julius William Gates, my main handler, what all of them told me would happen. And this is why it's so heartbreaking to have a channel that has garnered so much support for survivors of the worst crimes imaginable in human history, to have it deleted for reasons of bullying, cyberbullying, implying that the survivors who had been often failed by the justice system in our current day and age and intimidated and just tried to cow us into silence, essentially. When we finally had a safe space to speak up, platforms like YouTube called it cyberbullying of our abusers. What I would like to say is that I have never been a bully, and that I would be more than happy, like many survivors, for any of our abusers to actually acknowledge this stuff. None of them are taking us to court because they know that if we actually had a platform to stand on and to share the horrific things that happened to us, that we were victims of, to share the horrible crimes that we were witness to, that it's not us that would be held to the fire, that essentially it's them. So to have censorship still be a tool of our abusers really is, like I said, it's heartbreaking. It's also heartening to know that she has made enough of a difference and enough of a statement for the psychopathic system to choose to acknowledge her and come after her. And ultimately, what it is going to do in the long run is show YouTube and other platforms complicity in child abuse, ritualized abuse, child trafficking, murder, and other crimes that many of us survivors are choosing to disclose in our testimonies and whistleblow on. All I'd like to say is that I am grateful for everything she does and everything that other allies have chose to do to help support us survivors in sharing our testimony. I know that history is going to look very kindly on all of them, and I know that God does as well. So I would encourage everyone to continue to support her. She's on Rumble, she's on Twitter, she's on YouTube again. I'm hoping to also repost at least the episodes that I was in sharing my testimony, as well as the roundtables on my channel as well, to give it just another avenue to be seen, so it's not just lost to the ether. Although, like I said, she has many other avenues that she promotes and has the content on. But I would just encourage all of you, if you have not resubscribed to her channel, please do so. And please, if anyone has their own channel, please let people know what is happening to survivors who are choosing to talk about the most heinous crimes ever at great risk to ourselves often, that we cannot be silenced and that justice is coming. There will be widespread public acknowledgement of these crimes, and platforms like YouTube that choose to censor will eventually be shown to be complicit in the cover-up of the worst crimes in human history. So I thank you all for being here for this little message, and really thank you all for choosing to support me in my healing, and I seek always for my channel and work to support you in your healing.